Yo, Gear8428 is finally back. It seems after every 3 videos something goes wildly wrong, so if I am in jail or something by my 9th video, it's because these things are cursed. But anyways, hot takes today, starting with I actually unironically greatly enjoy CountryHumans. Not the fandom as a whole so much, but I don't know. Like with all things, those who take it to the extreme are god-awful. But there's just something about the extreme that is CountryHumans that sparks very great amounts of concern in people. Maybe it's because of the extreme volume of stereotypes that are bound to come with condensing an entire culture and history into one representation of a population. Or maybe it's because everyone depicts all countries as stupidly hot twinks. All. Present, past, and historically inhumane. However, considering I've been fandom garbage since I was 7 and discovered the internet, the whole taking pollen balls and making them hot anime-looking dudes so they could do the dirty dancing wasn't something that surprised me at all. Nor the fact it's weird to people who don't ship things. I would not be surprised if this sounds new and pretty damn strange to someone who doesn't even know what a ship is, and yes, they exist. As a concept, I really don't mind. There are worse things to do with someone's spare time than slapping a flag on a sphere, and then adding a body which would make the Romans blush at its sheer amount of lewdness. But in any case, this isn't about shipping or how thirsty I am for Russia. This is about America, because as an American, I must speak only about myself and my nation or be banned from McDonald's. Obviously, that's just sarcasm, but I will bet someone out there half thought it was true because our country is known for its questionable relationship with its people. And that's what spurred me to combine my favorite thing with my most thing. CountryHumans and those political cartoons we were forced to analyze in US history classes, which all looked like they were made by the same 3 people. Obviously, as we are going through some shit, I feel it's something I can't ignore. In fact, I'm working on a more ranty type thing to discuss this whole issue, because we really can't ignore this anymore. It's what I wanted to implement once I got the ball rolling on this channel, but considering my luck with technology, it's better to start sooner than later, so I'm bringing it up now. If you have topics of interest, let me know, but more than likely the first episode of that talk show podcast thing will be an introduction to the concept, and probably more in-depth stuff about the contents of this video. I only have 20 minutes after all to speak. Alright, now, the symbolism in this drawing is probably the most effort I've put into an art piece ever. Sad since it's pretty obvious, but still. You have America pulling his own rope, essentially strangling himself, while looking tired and ill, coughing up blood as his foot keeps a box labeled medical help closed. Simple stuff, really. Ame over here is killing himself more so than anything else is killing him, and the background eyes of the world finally noticing just how messed up our shit is. But I tried to be a little more in-depth than that. For starters, every CountryHuman fan and their mother draws America in sunglasses. I purposefully left those out as a means of, 1, decluttering the face, because the American flag is very busy, and 2, to show that we can't hide what's going on anymore. Sunglasses make it hard to tell what a person is really feeling because the eyes are covered, so them not being there is essentially a nod to not being able to hide anymore. Deep, yes, I know. But next you have the suit and the people shirt. The suit represents the government. America, as presented to foreign nations, is supposed to be represented by the government. And for the most part, it's a government that paints a picture of Americans, along with very loud groups on Twitter that make everyone else have to step in and say, "Holy shit, I'm so sorry, we aren't all like this, please believe me." But I suppose it's hard to believe that statement when we all let Trump in the White House. Anyways, the suit covers the shirt typically, hence the government being what is seen before the people. The jacket, however, is open, and the people are finally being shown being treated quite horribly by the government. America is clutching his shirt, showing the grip or control the government has on its people. The other hand is being used to choke himself. Both sides have the suit on, so both sides are government. And the hand trying to choke America is the government trying to choke the people, but bringing the entire country down, including themselves, while doing so. Then the blood, along with the bags under America's eyes, represent the coronavirus, as well as the sickness of our nation in general. We have obvious problems, very obvious problems like feeding everyone and literally everything about our idea of healthcare. But they aren't being fixed, and so they act as a sickness, also harming the country. That all is seen best when you see how the actual government handles most concerns, i.e. with a dismissive wave and an "it'll be fine," at least until it reaches a point where the dismissive wave and the consequences start affecting our higher-ups' pockets or reputation. Clearly not the people, or else 1 million of us wouldn't be dying of a deadly disease right now when no one else is even close to our numbers. Then there's the box with the boot of government holding it closed and locked away due to corruption. Probably the simplest metaphor here. In essence, as strong as my perspective of what's going on right now in our country. Our government is a corrupt force, and it's locked away our essentials behind its corruption, leaving us and America as a whole to eventually fall apart while the world watches. Though, I can't really say it's just the government that's the problem. Our population, taught to be complacent over so many years, has let this happen. We let surveillance laws pass in direct violation of our Constitution, yet we pay it no heed and instead focus on trivial things made to look more important. The government may have created the law, but we didn't do much to stop them. American citizens' biggest problem seems to be the idea that they can't do anything, that someone else will come and help, or that anything they do is ultimately futile. And that's fucking depressing. The amount of times we discuss overpriced healthcare or incredibly unhealthy and unsafe foods as we sit at our dinner tables eating microwavable meals because the medical bills don't let us buy real food is way too many and way too normal. We've normalized being treated unfairly here, and that has to stop if we want our country to be free, because as much as we shout about our freedom eagles and the greatness of the United States, we aren't free. We've never truly been free. We've always been under the boot of our leaders, and them, the presidents, the corporations, the things that we gave power to. They've always had this boot on us. And now, as we sit and watch people die around us, we should be a bit more aware of just how little we matter under the people in power, at least until they start losing what we provide. Most of this sounds like the ramblings of some leftist bastard, I'm sure, but the fact of the matter is our country is killing itself, and we're letting it happen, and I'm fucking tired of it. All I wanted was to make art and show the world my creations. Maybe I could even be a scientist of some kind, drawing in my free time while putting good into the world. But now, I have to consider, will the government keep funding my job? Will the job I want pay for the debt it creates? Even if there is no debt, is that the lifestyle I want? I picked this career in high school and prepared for it since, but what do I do if it's wrong? What if when I get the job I lose it? Where do I go? What do I do? Art can't pay for an apartment unless I make a deal with a corporation, but then what? Even if I gain a large enough following instead, would that be stable? Internet users change their tone if they hear you breathing is slightly racist one day. So what happens if I mess up here? No one would hire someone that everyone hates, so how do I make money? Money is the only way to live. If I can't make it and I get really sick, then what? The ambulance alone is so much money. How do I get help? America is a capitalistic nation. We are run by corporations, hence why everything is so expensive when it has no right to be. But as a capitalist nation, we are good at one thing: advertising, especially advertising our nation. We'll show other countries all our pretty city lights, and all of our food, and all of our wonderful little inventions. But that's all surface level, as we all know now. We'll tell you how great our nation is, as a large portion of our population sit in unemployment, are unable to seek physical or mental health, and are ultimately deemed useless. It's even more upsetting when I know these things but still love this damn country. Maybe it's the propaganda or country-based Stockholm syndrome, but this place is my home. I was born here, which makes it especially disgusting the actions I've witnessed growing up, the actions I'm witnessing now. Our government system doesn't work. We all know that now. It needs to change, and rather than hope for someone to do so, I'd like to try and do my part, a little bit at least. I want to make things better for everyone. I want to help. And rather than just sit in my living room suffering as my nation believes we should in this time of crisis, I'd like to use what little influence I may have to tell you we can change things. The people forget how much power they can wield. We are the tool that those in power use to keep power. Without tools, they are nothing. Considering the demonization of workers uniting in our society and everyone being equal thanks to both the Soviet Union and the United States during the Cold War, I'm sure that the idea is oddly unpleasant sounding. But at this point, I'm too tired of being unable to go outside without possibly getting sick and dying before I can get help to care. We have the power to change our nation, and all we really need is determination and to come together. Political debates about what's right or wrong can wait until we stop dying from preventable causes. Keep that in mind at minimum, please. Also, I just realized, come together figuratively. We don't need more people in our hospitals right now. Please be safe, and for the love of God, ignore our government. It is not safe to be going to bars and public events at all. Don't act like it is, or you could be in serious danger. Remember that. I don't know. There's so much that I want to keep saying about all of this. It's so much that I could bring up when it comes to our government having these issues and problems and not fixing them. But, I don't know. I should probably start wrapping things up in a way, because really I could go on about this forever. From the way our country just has essentially taught us these expensive things are perfectly normal when there are countless other countries who don't have $1,000 ambulances. You have issues with our food and the chemicals that we put in it, and how we are systematically giving that to other countries and putting them in the same boat as us so our corporations can have more power. It's so many of these things that our country has done or is planning on doing. I don't know, I'm going off script now, because I'm just so tired. It's just, I'm supposed to be preparing for college this year. I was supposed to go in the fall, but that's certainly not happening anymore. During that entire time, I had to think about how I was supposed to get the several $1,000s I would need for just 2 years. And then I would need to figure out after that, well, I lost all this money. How am I going to pay for my 4-year university? Because I wanted to be a forensic scientist. I wanted to try and be of assistance to our law enforcement, even though our law enforcement is probably, I can't even say it's the most corrupt thing in our nation. The amount of corruption everywhere kind of makes it hard to tell. I don't know. At this point, is it even worth going to college? Is it even worth considering? I mean, more than likely colleges are going to be cheaper, because we've now realized that we can call them out on their bullshit that we have to be in classrooms in order to take their classes. More than likely, more schools will be available online. A lot of things will be more available online. But even then, it'll still probably be manipulated for the benefit of others. Because that's what we're best at here, aren't we? I really do like this country. I like what it's supposed to represent. And in its own way, we are a very lovely nation. But there's an extreme disconnect, in a way, with the people and the government. It's not okay. It really isn't. And honestly, I don't know if this video will make any sort of change in that. But I can try, right? Because I'm just... The idea that if I wanted a child, if I wanted them to grow up, that I'd essentially just be disadvantaging them by having them be born in my home country. It's depressing. It's even more depressing that before I even consider having a child, I would have to think about how expensive that they would be. Not just in food or in toys or the things that they break, but in just having them in the first place. I don't know what to do anymore. The most I can do is try and help people band together. To help let people know that America is not this amazing, elusive dream, because we are far from a dream. If anything, we are some sort of nightmare. And a nightmare that's not going to end until the rest of America wakes up. I don't know, I should probably actually start wrapping things up. I meant to draw something more lighthearted when talking about CountryHumans, but quite frankly, the state of my country has been weighing pretty heavily on my mind, and I need to make something about it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. It was pretty obvious getting the hard drive to make this happen. It was obvious, obnoxious. I don't know. Still, it's nice to do the art thing again. I hope to do more in the future, especially if this all blows over one day. I truly want to reach the point where people in the US can just do what makes them happy. And maybe starting by saying this could help. I want to do more. I really do. But alone, I don't have that ability. So maybe I can give a bunch of people that ability. We can work together to make a country which cares about others. So much needs to change. Our enemy is mighty, but it's still small, right? Yeah, okay. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do all those YouTube things. I don't know, you guys don't owe me shit, so... But if you're interested in me going more in-depth about America, let me know, as I have no right or grounds to talk about any other country's problems, especially now. I'm also more willing to give my doozy of a political stance if that's what people want, even though, given I use the full word capitalist, you can probably guess where I lean on that front. Which means, for anyone who thinks opinion determines the validity of an argument or information, this video is now stupid and I'm a filthy commie. For those who are genuinely interested in more personal stances that I've introduced here, again, let me know, I guess. I don't know. I'm just... I know. YouTube is weird, man. Yeah, all the links to a bunch of stuff will be in the description. If you're curious about some of the points I've said, I'll leave some articles, some news articles about what's going on in America, the coronavirus map, if you are really curious. It's still... Russia is apparently trying to play catch-up, but they aren't going to win that race anytime soon, which is a good thing, honestly. But yeah, no. So, hopefully I don't end up dead, either by America instating its own secret police, or by, I don't know, getting sick and dying in my home because we can't afford a hospital. And I say this in a lighthearted tone, mainly because at this point I've been used to the fact that America likes letting its people die. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully you gained something from this video. At this point, I don't think I should say enjoyed. No. I'm gonna let this finish up. That's basically it for right now. So yeah. Be safe out there, everyone. Hopefully my words and my slight rambling is helpful in some form or capacity. I hope you have a nice day, and I hope things are better for our future generations on this planet. I really, really do. Okay, that's all. Have a nice day.